One of the things that I absolutely love, because I grew up in Chicago, is pizza. Giving up pizza was something I just didn't want to do. Well, I've discovered a new way of making pizza that's actually better than the pizza that I was raised on. What I use are these lavash wraps, sandwich wraps. This is a whole grain sandwich wrap, and half of a whole grain sandwich wrap is only 60 calories. And so it's a pretty good base for this. Tomatoes and tomato sauce, marinara sauce, you can make it from scratch. You can buy an all-natural one. Artichokes, I love as a seasoning instead of salt, the Mrs. Dash tomato, basil, garlic. And I'm gonna make sausage pizza. How am I gonna do it? I'm gonna use some vegan Italian sausage that I picked up at the store, and it's absolutely delicious. It's nice and firm the way a sausage should be. It tastes fantastic. Earlier today I made a pizza for my son. He asked me if it was real meat. I said of course it is. He thought it was delicious. I also have a couple different cheeses here. Now if you use a no-fat mozzarella cheese, it won't melt. So use one that's a low-fat, or mix it with a blend, as I'm going to actually do, a little blend of reduced fat Mexican cheese. Now, one of the key things here is that a pizza really should be about the tomatoes, not about the cheese. And so on the lavash, I'm going to put a pretty good helping of the sauce. And I'm going to use probably half the cheese that I normally would use on a pizza. But then I'm going to load that pizza up with a couple other delicious things. Some mushrooms, some roasted tomatoes, some green olives, and some artichokes. I'm going to sprinkle that with some Mrs. Dash and a little bit of sausage here, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. All right, you can't see me, but you can see the food. And one of the things that I'm going to do when I first start making this is I'm going to spray a little bit of Pam on this pan. Now I'm using the same pan I use actually out on the grill that has holes on the bottom, because that makes the bread really crispy. And when you're making a homemade pizza, a crispy crust usually is best. Now, when I was a kid, I actually worked, or high school, I worked at an Italian restaurant in Chicago, so I know how to make pizza. And one of the things that I love to do is put sauce on here, and people try to figure out how do you spread that sauce around. The answer is with a spoon. Take the spoon and you spread it around just like that. That lets you get a nice even coating throughout the entire pizza. So I put on a pretty good amount of sauce. I might even add a little bit more because, like I said, I think a good pizza should have a lot of sauce. And this is particularly good all-natural sauce. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the mozzarella cheese on it. This is actually a reduced sodium, low-fat, not a no-fat mozzarella cheese. And I'm just going to spread that around, but I'm not going to put a whole lot. I'm going to put enough to sort of make a coating, but not enough to look like I'm just covered with cheese here. I'm using it really as a flavor. I really want the taste of the vegetables and the taste of the sausage. What I've done now is I've cut up some of this vegan sausage. So I'm going to place a few pieces here and there on the pizza. And I'm also going to get some of the artichoke hearts, because remember, I love artichoke hearts. They make a delicious flavor on top of a homemade pizza. So I'm just going to chop up some artichoke hearts and then sprinkle those around the top of this pizza also. And then I'm going to top that with some of the chopped up mushrooms and chopped up green olives. What I've done here is I've topped this off with some roasted tomatoes, some chopped up mushrooms, some chopped up artichoke hearts, some chopped up olives, and I've topped it off with a little bit of Mrs. Dash tomato basil seasoning. That's a salt-free product. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in the oven for about 5 minutes. The oven is preheated and the oven is set for 400 degrees. I'm going to put this in for about 5 minutes. I'm going to watch it though, make sure it doesn't burn. It'll be absolutely delicious. Yum. What I have here is actually a delicious crispy pizza. And since I haven't eaten dinner yet, this is actually going to be my dinner for tonight. Then I usually just take it and I'll cut it in half and cut it in quarters, share it with a friend. Not tonight though, but it's absolutely delicious, truly wonderful. This pizza is about the vegetables and the sauce. It's not about the bread and the cheese. Changing our viewpoint of what eating is all about can help us to eat nutritious and delicious food every time.